this individual came through the door. He was expressing himself about, I thought she loved me. And sometimes I would ask her to do this and she wouldn't, and I didn't know. And my first thought and comment, to him was, first of all, you knew what you were getting into.
Let me put a plug here. Shout out to my Threads community, because y'all know I gave y'all story time on this exact situation when he came through that door and we were trying to move me out before he came home from work, and he came through the door while we were packing up. It's the finale! That's terrible. But we not editing this out. That's how excited I am, because we made it to the end of season 2. So you can judge your mama, not me. But I'm so excited, y'all. It's part 2. I'm still sitting here with my parents. What a season. The last episode, my daddy cried. What's that all about? No, I'm just kidding. We love to see men cry. Black ones especially. But I'm excited for this finale because we're going to wrap up the questions just pertaining to how they helped myself, my sister, how they helped us get through really hard seasons. And also they're going to, as a couple that's been married 36 years and known each other, over 40. They have some advice. They have lived life. They could really give y'all some great things. And as my father stated in the last episode, we have great daughters. They do. They raised us, so why can they not? They could give great advice to you too. They should be able to, at least. So hopefully they'll be able to answer these questions. So let's get into it. We starting with okay. I know my mama gonna have something to say, so. Were there moments you had to give tough love instead of just comfort to me or to your other daughter?
Wow. Yes. I'll just give one instance. After being at home for some months, a little while, you're getting better. We're talking. We talked a lot. That was good. It was good, healthy conversation, good getting things out. So that was wonderful. But there was one instance where I remember we're eating. It was just the two of us. And I said that you have to be open. Well, I don't remember how we got to that point, but I remember saying, you can't just look at the wrong that was done. You have to look at the whole picture, yourself included. And sometimes self-introspection and maybe how did you contribute to any of that? Not saying it's right, because there's never a reason to cheat. There's not. That's not acceptable. But you have to also look at where you are, and did I or did I not, or what happened? Look at the whole big picture. And it took a minute for us to get through that conversation. That was a hard conversation, but I'm very proud of you because you're doing the work. You did the work. And no, there's never a reason for someone to do that, especially if they say they love you. That's not love ever. And so
that's not even like
no, that's disrespectful, not just to the person that you are cheating on. It's disrespectful to their village. They entrusted you with this wonderful person, and that's how you treat them?
Now I'm gonna put a plug here. I do not remember that conversation at all. But what she's saying, I have talked about in a previous episode, not so much about the conversation, again, because I don't remember it, but about contributing to someone's actions in a sense, like why they feel the need to do something like that, although there's no justification to their actions. It's kind of like, well, to them, there could have been something that triggered them to feel like that was the better thing to do. So it's ironic, maybe it's not, that she mentions that, because I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know what episode it was, but I do think it was season 2. If I remember, y'all, I'll pop it up on the screen. But if I don't pop it up on the screen, I can guarantee you I did not remember which episode it was. But yeah, I remember talking about that. And that came from growth in therapy and all the things, because to even acknowledge that, you could have never in those first few months, like really maybe in the first year, probably you could not have gotten me to admit like, maybe I played a part in some capacity. He still should have cheated, but maybe there was something that I did or didn't do where he felt like, well, I'm just going to go do this. I don't know, child. What I would tell you, though, about me not remembering that conversation, trauma brain is real. And if you've been through some real stuff, you know, your mind, that memory, it's like, like stuff was a blur. Just coasting through, just floating by. You don't even remember half the stuff that was going on during that hard time. Just know you're not alone. Because she's saying this and I'm sitting here like, you know how when people reminisce on something or they say something that happened and you kind of can picture it in your mind? She really, I think, painted a great picture for y'all. I don't remember any of that. I'm sitting here like, is this thing on? Like, nothing's happening in my mind. I'm like, I'm drawing a blank here. I don't even know. So yeah, trauma brain is real, y'all. If anybody knows how to fix that, holla at me, because I don't know. I haven't figured it out. There's so many memories. Like my friends even would tell me stuff and I'd be like, that happened when? But great answer. I believe you. I just don't remember that.
No worries.
But we're on the other side now. Do you have anything? You didn't really you said you didn't give like tough love. Like you really didn't.
I think I did to the other individual.
Yes.
Because
yes, you did.
The way he looked like.
The day that I came over, first of all, you're very headstrong. You know what you want. You know what you like. And I used to think that that was a problem because you're very vocal. And, you were like that growing up since you were born. Day one.
Came out the womb.
And so the day that I was over there and this individual came through the door, he was expressing himself about, I thought she loved me, and sometimes I would ask her to do this, and she wouldn't, and I didn't know. And my first thought and comment, rather, to him was, first of all, you knew what you were getting into. You knew who you were dealing with. She's headstrong. She's vocal. You knew that. You walked in. I asked you, are you prepared to deal with that? The wrath. Because she can bring it. I did. And I was showing tough love. So I said, first of all, you come in, go sit over there. Do not go back there to where she is. That's all I got to say.
Let me put a plug here. Shout out to my Threads community, because y'all know I gave y'all story time on this exact situation when he came through that door and we were trying to move me out before he came home from work, and he came through the door while we were packing up. If you don't follow me on Threads, go follow me at Doneshia. It's going to be on the screen. Tay gonna do that. Follow me on Threads. I literally gave story time about this, and I love that you naturally mentioned that, because a lot of y'all came from Threads based on that exact story time. So I just love that, how that came up. But yeah, I guess you did. You showed him tough love. I was shocked. I was like,
yeah. So, and I was very firm when I asked him to go sit over there. I stopped. I was packing. I remember I was packing one of the boxes, and he was steady saying, but I don't want to leave her. Yeah, I love her. Obviously not. For what you did, sir. So you sit over there, but I thought, and you didn't think nothing.
I'm sorry. This is really
and that was it.
In my child.
I love you, but now I'm about to love you in a different way. And that was me showing tough love to that individual.
That's true.
As a believer, one. Because I could have did something very differently when I opened that door.
Yeah.
But I did not.
What do you mean when he came through the door?
I opened it. Yeah, he did, and then true.
But I feel you. We both.
I was that close to the door where
Yeah, you were closest to the door. I think we all were shocked at the situation that happened.
So, that's the only time I can remember showing tough love. It was real.
Yeah, it was real for everybody. Good thing mommy wasn't there. That just would have been. I'm telling you, to be a fly on the wall in that scenario. Okay, shameless plug. If y'all, again, if you don't follow me on Threads, go on Threads and read this story time. Because I feel like the way he told it is so funny. It ain't funny. Well, y'all heard me laughing. I'm a little childish. It was funny though when he was mocking him. But how he told it from his point of view on Threads, I'm telling that day from my point of view. So go on Threads and follow me. Well, you ain't even gotta follow me. Just go on Threads and it's on my Threads. So you'll enjoy the story time. So I'm going to the next question. What have you learned about both of your daughters and yourselves through all of this? Mommy finna be long-winded, so bear with us.
No. What did I learn about both my daughters? I learned that you're very real.
You didn't think we was real?
No, I've always known. You're both very vocal.
Oh, well, we knew the other ones.
Now, proud of that. They're great communicators, and I'm proud of that. But we knew that already. But from you both being able to fully express what was going on in here, I was glad to hear that. I wanted to hear that because we always wanted to know what's really going on with you. I also learned, though, that you're both very resilient. You're very resilient. Even when you didn't think you were, you are. You are. You've both grown, from that. The thing that I think I'm thankful for, you're not bitter.
Oh, no.
Neither of you are bitter, and that I'm grateful for.
It has a lot to do with their upbringing in their Christian home.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, you saying how like all these things we are is because of y'all that raised us.
But Liz, one thing I realized is that I did not know is that Cherie had a side of her that I'd never seen or heard, because she really got vocal and started telling me what she said. Oh. I was thinking, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Am I talking to Cherie or Doneshia?
Oh, I know that side of my sister. That's my girl. Cause she
I've never seen or heard Cherie really get vocal the way she did and express herself how she did.
She real for real.
I was very proud of the fact that what we put in them when they were little girls, that they grew up remembering how to deal with situations. Their mama raised them as girls. I raised them with street smart.
I thought he was going to say he raised us as men.
No. Definitely not me.
I was like, yes.
No, ma'am.
But what I mean by that is,
oh my God,
their mother raised them to be the women that they are today. But I instilled in them the importance of knowing what to look for when it comes to men, even though sometimes you can't really see.
Well, there's some master manipulators out there. It's
right,
hard.
Exactly. So it can be hard in that sense. But and I've taught them always to stand up, to be who you are. Do not fold when people come at you the wrong way, but you be who you are. And so I'm very proud in that sense that they held on to that. And
Well, so So what did y'all learn about yourselves though, too? Because y'all answered the first part, which is a reflection of y'all and being raised by y'all. But what did y'all learn about yourselves having to help us through these situations?
For me, I learned that my emotions, even with the situation being whereas could have dictated that I go out and do something crazy, that I could actually suppress that and deal with it in a professional manner, the way, one, that it should be dealt with as a believer, for one. And then being the professionals that we are, I just thought that I did a great job.
Yeah.
And I learned that about myself, that, wow, I didn't go off, even though one leg was jumping at the time.
That was happening.
But I learned that I could actually,
Control your
during a
emotions.
time of trauma, control my emotions
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah, and I guess you haven't had to deal with too many situations like to that extent.
Well,
Not recently, so it's like,
Well, I'm going to say this. When my older brother passed, my young brother also, that was hard because I kind of raised him. He had an alcohol problem, and I did a whole lot for him. And so it was traumatic to me when they said they found him deceased in his place. And my first thought was, somebody do something to him? But I remained calm as I was talking to the sergeant, because I was in Durham at the time working up there at my employer that I'm currently employed with. And so I had to drive 45 minutes to an hour almost to get to the scene where they found my brother. And during the whole time, I was thinking in my mind, why, what happened, and it can't be real. But you know what? Let me remain calm and just see what's going on. And then Cherie called me out of the blue. And it was, Dad, what's going on? How are you? And for, Mariah being the oldest, she's very in tune, and she's very in tune.
here you are.
My tissue was gone.
She's very in tune to life as a believer. And as soon as she called to ask me what's going on, as opposed to, hey, Daddy, how you doing, Daddy? What you doing? She said, what's going on, Daddy? And, I said, well,
It's okay.
I was told your Uncle Rodney has passed. Yeah. This was in 2020, 2 days before my birthday, so still hits hard. But at that time, when I told her I'm driving 70 miles per hour, and crying at that time because she said, Daddy, oh my God, are you? I know I was not okay. So I had to.
Do you feel like that type of situation, after you've dealt with that, it kind of prepared you for like dealing with being there for us, because you knew how you were emotionally at that time? So when you saw your own children in an emotional state similar to that, you kind of felt like, well, I'm prepared for this.
Yes. Yeah. Indeed, it did. And then after that incident with my brother, I had to pray and just kind of ask God to always help me be prepared to deal with situations such as
Trauma.
trauma is real. It's very real. So, yeah.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a moment. So we'll be right back. But don't move, because I really mean it. We're going to be right back. So we're back. No theatrics. We're getting straight to it. I'm going to have just a couple more questions. We're going to allow the wisest people in the room to give some advice, because I think, we gain wisdom through our experience. So like, I do feel wiser now than I was before getting married, but they've clearly been alive longer than me. So they have lived life. They have seen things. They have dealt with different seasons, all the things. So what would y'all like to tell other parents who are listening about loving your kids through hard seasons? Like, any advice you could give them?
My first thought is continue to love them, whether it's something that's good, not good. But this doesn't start when they're adults. This actually starts when they're very, very young. Starts from when they're in the womb, actually. So you build a relationship with your child, wherever your child is, as they grow older. If you have that, then it gives them room to come to you with whatever is good, whatever is not good, without holding back. You want open, honest relationships. That's my first biggest takeaway, is you got to just love them and be there for them, however that looks for them and for you. It doesn't mean that you stop your own life, because your own life continues. You still have your own things, your own friends, your own relationship. But for your children, when they go through hard things, that's when they need you. They need you most then, because how the world treats them and how others on the outside treat them, they really don't care. And sometimes people will say things like, well, just get over it already. Well, no, some things take time. Who better to give them that time to continue to nurture them and love them than the people that raised them and had them?
That's solid.
Yeah, true. And as Leah stated, you have to start when they're young. Start when they're young, loving them and being there for them. You love by listening, with your heart, also with your eyes and your ears. And I have a situation where when Cherie, because she knew what was coming, when Cherie was little, she had came to my office in our home, and she was talking about her day at school, and Doneshia was standing there behind her, just kind of looking while she was talking. And I'm on the computer and I'm working, and Cherie's standing there talking. And I said, "Yep, that's good, baby." And she said, "Daddy." I said, "Yeah, babe, what?" And she stomped the floor and she walked away, and she said, "Mommy, Dad is not listening to me." So Irene came into the room and told me, "You need to turn that computer off and look at her when she's talking to you. She's trying to communicate." So
y'all can see the bossy sister has always been. It's not me.
You have to love them, but showing true love is being attentive and listening 100%, face to face, eyeball to eyeball, ears open, heart open, regardless of what they have to say.
And I think on that day, the other part of what she said was, I want you to listen to me with your eyes.
With your eyes. She did say that.
Look, she been wise from the jump.
She did say that.
She said, can you just listen to me with your eyes?
Yes, she did.
God knew to make her the big sister.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm kind of one now, but
oh my goodness.
he knew because she's always been like that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, parents, love your children. Love, girl or guy. Because guys experience trauma also.
Or in between. Because they're choosing.
True. Love.
Just love your child. Period.
Yeah.
Ooh, we did it at the same time.
Love your child.
Okay. So this is the last question. To the adult who's going through a hard season, such as a breakup, divorce, or a broken engagement, without their parents' support, what is your message of hope to them?
Have a community. Have people in your life that you can go to without a shadow of a doubt and be vocal, knowing that they're going to love you, support you, and be there 100% for you.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Have a community. Because if you don't have that community,
You go in your thoughts.
you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
You need a community, whether it be close friends, relatives, church. You need to have a community. I mean, I can't stress that enough. We have a huge support system through family and friends, and then our church. And with the situations in which you dealt with and your sister, even though we didn't say anything, people knew.
They knew something.
And they
was
were
not
praying.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would say, we're praying for you. And the girls, they would let us know. So, yes, I would say have a strong support system. You're
And
very
that can
strong
be
support
chosen
system.
people. Don't have to be your family. Because sometimes it's just not going to be your family. We all grow up with different families. Everybody's family ain't supportive.
Right.
Everybody's family is not healthy. So it don't have to be your family, but you need to choose your community. You have autonomy to do that, but you need to make wise decisions on the people that you allow to help you through hard times. Because as we know, the older we get, there's an understanding that everybody's not rooting for you. So people may be praying for you and it's actually going to God. There are people doing the opposite.
Yeah. True.
That's right.
And it ain't going to God. You see what I'm saying? So there's people that are, I don't want to be cliche, in the rap world, they praying on your downfall. But some people really are because they're jealous of what your life looks like. And little do they know, what's actually going on. So there's people out there, there's words hold weight and they manifest. So just as we pray to have good things and, maintain the good things we have, people doing the opposite, and then bad things come from that. So it's you got to be wise about the community that you choose and the community that you share your life with, because you need those people to not, it's important to share in the good times too, but I feel personally it's way more important to share in the bad times, because that's when you really need people the most. Because it feels like you could just float by when things are great. It's oh my gosh, this is great. I got this. Soon as you don't got this. And yeah, I'm speaking grammatically incorrect. I don't care. Crosby kids. But as soon as you don't, you're I need a little support. I need a little help. Those are the moments that really matter. And the people who show up for you, those are your real ones. But also understand, it's twofold. You got to be willing to share some stuff with people. They don't always know. Everybody's not in tune, and that's not their problem. That's not bad. It just, some people, they live in their own life, so they wouldn't know that. You have to be willing to talk to people and then allow them to be there for you. So yeah, I'm gonna double that. Community, or as Glow would say, community.
And let me say one more thing as to why I said community, because
I know where you're going with this.
When she told us about it, I thought, wow, we'd be the first, or was the first. And then I realized later on, she said, no, I told such and such first. I talked to them. And then she had talked to this pastor from a previous church, and I think the pastor that had married him. And I wasn't sore about it, but I was thinking, why aren't you talking to your daddy first? The one that birthed you and raised you. But then I remember that's community. That's people that she had relations with, you know, her girlfriends, best friends would have some wisdom to share. The pastor that married would have some wisdom to share.
Well, to be clear, I didn't talk to the pastor that married us first. I talked to the lead pastor of the church, and he wasn't the one that married us. But But so for context on that, real quick, the day I left, so I talk about this on thread. It's in that thread that I told y'all to go look at. That joker went crazy on there. So I had told my husband at the time, I told his best friend, come over and be with him, because I now have my nucleus of people who know what's going on, so that when I rip the plug, like, they know they got me, I got them. Like, this is our community right here. These people know. And if my mama need to call my best friend or whatever, she know who know. Like, everybody could deal with that. He had nobody. Nobody knew his wife was leaving him. So I had called his best friend to come over there. His best friend, God bless that man. He told him, you need to tell your pastor right now, because your wife just walked out on you because of your shortcomings. You need to tell your pastor, because I ain't never said this, but he worked in the church, y'all. God bless. And so it was one of those moments of like the dignity, the integrity. There was none previously, clearly. So it's like, now, because of this, you have to talk to the pastor, because he has to know what's going on in your life. And so when he told him, literally like clockwork, that same day, the pastor's wife hit me up. She texted me, great woman. We still cool on social media. She hit me up and said, you could come to my house tomorrow. And I actually didn't end up going the next day. I went like a few days later, but she was like, come over to our house. And she's like, we ain't even got to talk about this situation. She said, girl, we could talk about whatever else. We could eat, we could do whatever, but you do not have to talk about this. But I want you to come over if you feel comfortable. And that's when I went over there, and the pastor, he came home later. And when he came, we sat out, and like, they really just embraced me. So that's the pastor. But yes, I did talk to the pastor first. I was like, I got to talk to the pastor. It's community.
Yeah. and that's the thing about it. Even with our church that she and I attend, that the girls were raised in, even though we didn't say a lot about the situation,
said nothing.
People pick up on it.
After the fact, when they realized they were not bitter, they said, where is she? Can we talk to her? Yes, by all means, contact her. They still love the girls. They love them, then, and they still love them today, regardless.
Ooh.
And
I'm sorry.
that's community.
Yeah.
That's community.
Yeah. Actually, funny story. So the church I was raised in, our bishop, I think I was separated. My sister had, at that point, called off her wedding, but she was not shy with that. She was like, you tell whoever, yell it from the rooftop. I'm like, okay. I was still wearing my ring because it was I was just trying to avoid questions. Right. But I remember we went to a church event that's like an annual thing that they've been doing for years. So I remember, of course, we ain't seen our bishop in a long time. Because I don't attend the church anymore, but when we talking to him, and he knew kind of like our life stuff. So he asked her, like, okay, he was like, weren't you getting married? And she said, oh, no, broke up with him. And he said, okay, and if that's what you had to do, cool. He raised 3 daughters, 4. Yeah. So it's like, he know. And so when he looked at me, he was like, okay, well, now you the newlywed, so you know what's going on. I looked at him, and if you grew up in a church where like you close with the people, they know you. Mind y'all, let me give y'all context on that. My mother joined that church when she was in college. So when I say these people know me, I looked at him, I said, I don't really know if it's going to work out. I was like, it's not really. And he looked at me dead in my eye and was like, and if it ain't right, it ain't right. And you don't have to be in it. And I said, well, there it is. The whole time I was already separated, but it was literally like 2 months separated. So, I was freshly, but he said, okay. And he was like, you'll get through that. He was like, you don't got to deal with anything you don't need to deal with. He said, so if you need to leave, leave. I said, well, that's a stamp. I mean, I didn't know I needed it. I didn't really need it, but it felt good because it's like your spiritual leader that is like, oh, like he's letting you know that's okay. And it's funny, and I'm going to say this, and I mean it when I say it. Somebody was up in my YouTube comments talk about God don't like divorce. You need to read your Bible because I promise you I did not do anything wrong. It was within my biblical rights. And that's exactly what the pastor told me. When I met with him the same week I decided to leave, the first thing he said to me was, this is well within your biblical rights.
Right.
Everybody know that. Adultery, get up out of there. So there's that. Mommy, you got anything to tell the people?
I do. So to add to the community part, one of the things that we always taught is you need a community. Whether you're in school, wherever you find yourself in life, you need a community, whether you choose them. We propose that maybe church is one of those places because there's a community of people there. You get to learn of them,
like-minded individuals.
They're like-minded. But one of the things that the Lord gave me when our oldest daughter was getting ready to go to college, we were outside in the yard and I grabbed a bunch of sticks and didn't understand at first, but it was coming as I was doing it. So I grabbed a bunch of sticks and had them in my hand and I said, take this, because we're having this talk about when you are on this campus, there's got to be some other young people who love Jesus like you do. Now, how you find them, I'm not sure how to work on that campus, but you want like-minded people to be in your corner and you need them before you need them. Like you need to build it before you need them. And so I'm giving her this. And so I grabbed some sticks and I handed it to her and I said, break it. So it was like a handful. Well, with all of them, you couldn't break it, right? So then I gave her one and I said, now break that one. And she said, easy peasy, right? I said, that stick is you. As long as you're with a group and you're in that community, you can't be broken. You don't break easily because you got people covering you. You got people praying for you. You got people loving on you. You got people bringing you things you need, pouring into you. You don't break. But if you're outside, and adverse stuff happens, life happens.
Not if you outside. Don't go outside.
You outside.
She said if you outside.
And things happen and you are that one stick, guess what happens? So that was one of the things that we, as a parent, you want to give them things and tools and things they can use when they're not in your house.
And weapons.
Well, yeah, that's another something, but yeah.
That's a message of hope. Okay, so as you can see, like we grew up in a really fun household. So if you would like to join our family, call 1-800-JOIN MY FAMILY because this is everyday life. And yeah, I wish my older sister was here because I'll tell you what, if she was sitting right here, wow. I mean, this is crazy. I'm like, weapons. I said give them a message of hope, but hey, most of y'all watching this truly already have them in your home. So, okay. I don't even know how to look. My parents, everybody. I don't even know how to end this. This is a good season finale. This right here is great because now y'all see why I'm so silly. I'm very unserious, but I can be serious. All we saying is get a community. Have a community, whether it was something that you grew up and they kind of just, it naturally formed because of the environments you were in, or you choose them. Mm-hmm. Choose wisely. I don't really remember. I didn't get the stick talk, y'all. No future. But I didn't get the stick talk.
You didn't get the stick talk, but you did get the other part of that.
But they raised me well. I turned out okay. And I have amazing friends. My friends are everything, for real. People actually, fun fact, and then we ending it, y'all got to tune in season 3. But people always are shocked when they see how many friends I have. And I'm saying female friends because as y'all know, and I know it's cliche, like I'm a girl's girl. No, but I really am. Like I grew up with a sister, 2 sisters when Chase came along. So it's like, I love being with the girls. I'm able to have strong friendships with women. It is not hard for me. All this, I can't have too many female friends. That's a red flag. So for the brothers or anybody that's dating a woman, if she say, I don't really hang around too many girls, I can't be friends with girls, run and run quickly and run far. Because that's the problem. Because what's going to happen if that person ever has a daughter? What's she going to teach her? So anyway, have community. People love the fact that I have a lot of female friends. And also it's a humble flex. I ain't trying to flex, but the friends I have are from different areas of my life. And that right there is not as common, I'm finding out at this age. But the beautiful part of that is like having those solid friendships from, Khadijah from preschool. Then the girls from, I don't really think anybody stayed from middle school, but high school, college. Those friendships now have overlapped. Some of my friends are friends with each other. Like they met through me and now they hang out and be at each other's baby birthday party. I'd be like, well, hold on. I ain't even at a birthday party. But I love that. Why? Because I have a great community, which means when they meet each other, they're like, oh, shoot, I like her. Like I could be around. This is a healthy environment. That says a lot. But it also comes in handy because most of the girls I'm talking about, like that met through me, they live in the same state. I don't live there. So when it comes to wanting to have people show up for you in special moments, they have that because of me. And that's beautiful, but that's community. It starts to overlap. So you got to get in with a community. It could be through church, school. I mean, at this rate, if you're my age or older, church, if you're in school, cool, that could happen. But, you just never know. I recently, and I promise I'm gonna wrap this up, but I recently connected with somebody I used to hang out with in college. She hit me up on some like, hey, this is random, but would you like to go here? And I was like, I'll go. I said, is it just us or whatever? And she was like, yeah. She said, but we, just pull up for old time's sake. And honestly, I had the best time. I had seen her in passing in the last year, but I had not seen her in a long time with just like us hanging out. And it was so refreshing to just catch up and realize like, oh, we both grown a lot. We've dealt with things, but like we still have that connection. And so it's stuff like that. Just get out there, be within your community. And I mentioned this in a previous episode, maybe season 1, but my ex did not have, like he had people he was cool with, but seeing it up close, he was not really immersed in his community. And that you need people to hold you accountable because you should be convicted when you start to go another direction that is not right. Like if you're really in a decent mind space or whatever, you should be able to pull yourself in when like, oh, I'm about to do something crazy or stupid. Like this is not healthy. But if you're not in community, it's easy to just go with your own thoughts because you feel like these are the thoughts and I'm gonna go that way. But when you're in community, if somebody in your life checks you or even calls to check on you, if you about to go left, just hearing from that person should convict you enough to be like, oh, let me reel it on in because they would never approve of it. You need community. So on that note, I'm going to end this. I think that, what I'm building on this platform is a community. The way y'all be telling me stories still, and I love them, keep them coming, is insane. Which I'll plug this because it ties into season 3. If you're watching this right now, I would love for you to send me questions. DM me, you can leave it in the comments. Questions that you want answered on an episode. Of course, it'll have to tie into the topics, I don't want to do one random episode of like, I'm answering. I could, but I don't know that that's the case. But send me your questions. Topics you might want covered in season 3. We already starting production. So if you want something answered, send me the questions. You can DM them. You can leave a comment on Instagram. You can leave it on YouTube, whatever. But send them in, and I would love to just see where y'all are at, like things you're curious about, whether it pertains to me or my thoughts on whatever, relationships, divorce, healing, parents, I don't know, child. But like whatever y'all want to know, hit me up. And on that note, y'all, season 2 is over. I can't believe it. I'm sure y'all can't either because you're probably like, girl, you could have gave us a few more. But no, we do micro seasons here. So 8 is my favorite number. I'm giving y'all 8. So thank you for tuning in, not only to this episode, but also to this entire season. If you're still here for season 1, you're a day one. Like, I could finally say, like, you're a day one. Because at the end of season one, that's like, girl, who said I'm coming back for season 2? But if you made it this far and you here for season 1, shout out to my day ones. If you my day 13s, I still rock with you. But either way, so happy y'all joined me. As always, this is a podcast for real. You got to say like, share, subscribe, because we on YouTube. So do all the things. Keep tuning in. Follow on Instagram. Keep up with us on YouTube. We finna be back for season 3 sooner than you think. So do not wait too long, but also like get yourself together, because season 3 gonna be different. We coming back. For now, I'm out though, because I need a break.